In last session, we have seen how to copy data from Cosmos DB to Azure Blob Storage using Data Factory. In this session, we are going to see how to copy data from SQL Azure to Blob Storage using Azure Data Factory by establishing some control over the data which we want to copy using control tables. So as we know, Big Brother has migrated movies data to Cosmos DB and other transaction data or the other dimension data to SQL Azure. So on this screen, I have shared bigbrother.database.windows.net is a server name and Big Brother is the database name. Inside that, we have three tables: addresses, address updates, and customers. Big Brother's current requirement is to copy data from only two tables, that is addresses and customers, and they want to have a provision in future. They will just add a table name in control table. For example, they will just add the name of address updates in the control table and data should be automatically copied. So let us do one thing. We'll create one control table first. So I'll just create table rather than design view. I will use SQL query. So I'll create table. Just to save time, I'll directly put the script. This is the control table script which you are seeing on the screen. Control table which has two columns, source table and active flag. So there are currently two records inserted, addresses and customers, which are nothing but the names of these tables. We'll go back to Data Factory and we will copy data from these tables. We have one pipeline, Big Brother. Inside that, we have movies Cosmos, which has a source as a Cosmos DB. So we'll do one thing, we'll add lookup activity, which will connect to SQL database and fetch the list of tables. So in lookup, I'll provide the name get table list. Setting, we have to provide data set. So I'll just create new data set. It is type of SQL, so Azure SQL database. Azure SQL source tables. Link service, we have to create new one because service does not exist. Azure SQL. I'll leave auto resolve integration runtime because it is SQL Azure to Azure interaction. We'll provide the connection string manually. So it's Big Brother database .windows.net. I have entered the connection string details here: server, database, SQL user, and its password. Connection is successful. So I'll create this link service, and now we'll just choose a table. I'll click Edit, Advanced, open this data set. In connection, we will select table, control table. Let us preview data. These are the two tables from which we want to copy the data. Let me make it bigger. So this is get table list. This is lookup. and I will just uncheck first row only. If I check this, only first row will get returned. Alternative to table, we can also specify query. Query can be select star from control table. After lookup, we'll use for each. Inside for each, we have to provide the item. So item will be nothing but output from our lookup items. Lookup activity. So the whatever the list the lookup activity will provide will be input for each. One mistake I did here, instead of items, it should be value. Inside for each activity, let's add one activity copy. Copy accept will have source as SQL table. I will say source table, and connection will be same big brother movies. Big brother source table. I'll just name it. I'll leave it blank. Click on open dataset. Add the parameter p underscore source table. Leave it blank. Connection. Edit. Add dynamic content, and let us add our parameter. Sync. Add a new data set. We want to use block storage, and files should be copied, or other data should be copied in CSV format. Big brother and data. This is going to be our generic data set, because there will not be any specific source attached to this one. Source will be attached, but there will not be specific table, and thus there will not be any fixed file will get created. So we'll use the raw layer inside that big brother. For this one also, we'll open this data set, and as per our standard design, we will add concat, then format date. Inside that UTC now. We are going to partition data in year, month, and date. Finish. File name will use as the same of table name. Click on add dynamic concat file name comma dot csv. Click finish, and we want first row as header. So in copy activity, to the source, we have to supply source table name. So here what I'm going to do, I'm going to do @item dot, this is item dot our name of the column in the query. So source table is our column name. So the same thing I'm going to supply for sync. I'll just fit it. Let us skip movies control for time being, movies Cosmos for time being. So I will add skip path here, attach, and let us debug it. We see get table list. This is lookup activity. After that for each, that is a for each activity, and there are copy data one, two times activities. Why? Because we have two source tables for which we want to copy the data. So for each activity has actually the inside activities which ran n number of times equal to which get table list has given us. So in this example, it is 2. We can also monitor the output here. So the value which we have is source table address, source table customers. These two values we have. Let the correct name here. Addresses. Yeah, Data Factory is able to connect. Not sure why it is going in queue. Let us do one thing. I'll just cancel it. Let me publish it. Sometimes it happens. It is not fault of our code, by the way. Let us trigger it. Okay. It took some time, but data got copied. So I guess there was some issue with integration runtime managed by Azure. So we'll just verify our data is landed. We'll go to movies raw, containers, Big Brother, today's date, and we have 2 files there. As there was requirement, there will not be any code change whenever the new data has to be ingested, right? So what we're going to do, we'll see whether that requirement is getting satisfied or not. So I will add one more value here, that is address updates. In Data Factory, we will just trigger this pipeline again and we will monitor it. Now this time there are 3 copy data one activities got created. So it means the third file, the third table, it has considered. Let it run. Till that time I'll show you the query in lookup. We can specify select source table from control table, where, remember I have used active flag there, where we active equal to 1. We can also try with the query. So I get 3 table listed. If I do not want any of this control table, any of the source table data to be copied here, I can go there and make active flag equal to 0. Since there is an issue, internal issue in Azure, that's why it is taking that much time. Ideally, it should not take this much time. Inside the row, the third table also got added. This is the way you can control the data you want to copy from source. So I have shown you the example where source is SQL database or any other database you can use. You can also put the control over files. So get metadata is an activity you can use for controlling the file. So add the data set here, and I will use Azure blob. What type of files? Let's say I will use blob layer, container raw, click OK. That's it. So it returns me all the file metadata which are lying there inside the raw container. So in this session, I'm not going to cover this. You can try it on your own. I'll provide the link in resources section.